Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. Today I find myself on tiermaker.com and looking at the Ultimate Fruit labeled tier list maker. These are the tiers, they are currently empty, and these are the fruits. Why am I doing this? Well, truth be told, I was just kind of bored browsing through TierMaker, and then I found, whoa, there's a tier maker for fruit. Okay, let's see, and it's actually very detailed. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna film myself ranking up all these fruits. Also, it is slightly fitting given given fruit was a somewhat common slang for queer people. It's I'm not sure how often it is used. Not saying I myself am queer. I might be non-binary, but that's but that's another question entirely. But as I am filming this, it is currently I am filming this in June, so it does kind of suit the situation. In case you're curious as to where I stand regarding various quote-unquote culture war topics, well, you should probably already know that if you've watched any of my videos, particularly my political videos. And I'm not going to talk about this. I'm just going to talk about what kind of fruit I find uh, interesting, tasty, what I would typically go for, or what I haven't yet tried. As usual, I'm not just my ranking doesn't just stop at placing fruits on the tiers. I'm also going to rank them within the tiers. So the closer something is to the tier label, the better I think it is. Without further ado, there are 56. There are 56 fruits. Let's get into it. I won't go into too much detail with regards to all of them, but let's just so. But I will talk at least a little bit about all of them. Starting with green apple. It's kind of a boring, kind of a baseline fruit. I do like the consistency. It's a little sourer than the usual, um, and it's also a little tougher, chewier. I don't know. I don't really. It's not really my thing, but it's a good baseline. So for that reason, it's going in B. It might end up being lower B. We'll get to see. Red apples, be, better than green in almost every way, or in any meaningful way. So for that reason, they're going in A. I might put them in lower A eventually. Anyway, apricot. I don't really get apricots, so also I have a really hard time differentiating them uh, from peaches. So for this reason, they are for now at least going to C. And now time for the first. I've never had this avocado. Like, yeah, I know I'm a millennial, and it's very popular to say, "Oh, millennials and avocado toast and um, everything like that." But really, it doesn't speak to me in any way. I'm not looking at this and going, "Yeah, I want this." Maybe I've had it maybe I've had it accidentally, but I have no active recollection of it. So for this reason, this goes in the never had this. Banana, uh, don't eat them don't eat them when you're fresh in the morning. But in general they're good. They have a good mix of flavors, good consistency. Also, I think it's been said that you can eat only bananas throughout the rest of your life and not have any ill effects because they're so well rounded from a nutrition standpoint. It might have been debunked yet, but still, it's interesting to consider. Therefore, it goes in the move. Thank you. It goes in the higher A. It might end up being mid A, assuming A is big enough to have a mid section. But for now it's high A. Blackberry. I don't know. I'm kind of more of a sweet fruit guy, and with blackberries, I'm kind of like actually blackberries are kind of still they're in C for now. I might move them eventually. Black currant. Okay, I have to confess, I have no active recollection of eating this. So, but am I more curious about blackcurrants than avocado? I'm gonna say no. Blueberries. Blueberries, I've had, I've actually had quite a few. For that reason, and I've kind of always found them interesting, if a little bit samey. They are going, yeah, okay. I'm putting them here, lower A. Apples are gonna go, red apples are gonna go in B for now. I might shift them around a little bit. Cantaloupe, melon, but worse. Actually, have I had? No, I think I've had that, and I have some recollection of eating melons. Cantaloupes, I know I have some recollection of them, but I've never had them. So, but I've never, but I don't really know anything about the experience. So, it's a D. Coconut. I've never had it, but I'm very curious about it. Cherries. Okay. I'm telling on myself right now. S tier. Best fruit, best fruit so far. Also great in and of themselves, and you can do a whole lot of things to them. You can turn them into jams. You can uh, put them into cakes, and really you can bake them in pies. They're a great fruit all around. So S tier. Cranberries. I've drunk cranberry juice, but I don't think I've ever eaten uh, freshly picked cranberries or something like that. Uh, for that reason, I'm gonna say. So yeah, I've never had this. Dates. I've actually I've actually had on dates and been on dates, but that's a second question. So anyway, um, mostly I've had them dry. I've never really had them fresh out of the tree. And whenever I did, well, I think they were mostly fine. But they go above blackberries. Yeah, they go above apricots as well. So yeah, that's where dates go now. Dragon fruit. Never had this. Not particularly curious about it either. So yeah, this is where it goes. Durian. Like I know that is technically disgusting, but really to me this goes at the top of I've never had this. This is the thing I'm most curious to actually try. Figs. Again, never had them. I'm gonna say this. Gooseberries. Something else I've never had. And the only active recollection I have of gooseberries comes from The Witcher. Yennefer is constantly described as smelling like lilac and gooseberries, or that her perfume smells that way. So for that reason, it's going over here. Grapefruit. There's actually a joke about grapefruit where I'm from. Namely, I went on a grapefruit diet, i.e., I ate anything aside from grapefruit. It is it is not good. Like it is not like I it is not a good fruit. It is not enjoyable to eat. Like it looks like blood oranges, but it is but it's much worse. So yeah, bottom of D tier. Red grapes, S tier. Like another grapefruit, you can do a whole bunch of good things with it. With not necessarily sure about uh jellies or pies or anything like that, but you have well, you have the wine industry that's built on top of grapes, and then you have uh, grappa and other spirits that are that are also built on top of this. So yeah. Also they are very flavorful and very uh, interesting and enjoyable to to just have in and of themselves. For that reason, low S tier. White grapes, high A tier. I'm gonna put it like this. Next up, kiwi. Sometimes you can be in the mood for it, but other times it's kind of meh. Goes in C, goes in low C, just behind apricot. Lemon, I think lemons are more interesting for what you can do with them rather than in and of themselves. I have, I mainly know lemons as like hangover cures. So like when you're hungover, you just kind of you you suck on a lemon and that makes you go, okay, now I need now I can eat some regular people food, and then my stomach won't be grumbling. So for that reason, but still there are lots of other cooking and industrial applications that lemons have. So for that reason, they're going right underneath the apples. Lime, lime doesn't even have what lemon has. Okay, there is a lot of vitamin C and it has similar benefits. But when it comes to the flavor palette, like literally all I think of when it comes to lime is sodas and cocktails, and you can do that with basically any other fruit here. And in fact, I can point to at least five that would be better suited. So for that reason, lime goes right behind dates. Ahead of apricots? No, no. Putting them bottom of C tier. Okay. Lychee. I don't remember if I've had any lychee. Also, I'm not particularly curious about it, so I'm gonna put it here, right behind avocado. The never had this tier is becoming much bigger. I'm really exposing myself for basically being an uncultured peasant, ain't I? Mango. I think I've had more experience with mango-based products than the actual fruit itself. So, but from what I've had, no, I'm not gonna. No, I really want to say that because mango-based products are good, I'll rank mango somewhere here. But then again, I've only had cranberry juice, and I'm still only ranking cranberries that never had it. Still, I'm more curious about cranberries than I am about. I'm not more curious about cranberries than mango. So it's going here. And I never had this tier, right behind coconut. Okay, next up, nectarine. You know, I, for me, nectarine and apricots are kind of interchangeable in the sense being I can never tell them and peaches apart. So yeah, discount peaches, they go right ahead of kiwi. Orange. I keep forgetting whether or not the fruit is named after the color or the other way around, but that matters less. The fruit itself, I'm teetering between low A and high B. For now, I'm gonna go shift. Thank you. It's high B. Like it's got, no, it's got great nutritional value. Got a great flavor texture, and also you can use it to do some pretty interesting things. For example, you can eat parts of the peel as well. Papaya. Again, I am more familiar with products derived from papaya than papaya itself. I'm gonna have to say head of get back, coconut. Okay, so ahead of mango, behind coconut. What was that? Never mind. Passion fruit. Same as papaya. Yeah, I'm really revealing myself to be an uncultured swine. Peach. I'm gonna say it's actually it's better than apples. So yeah, so it's high B for now. Next up, pears. Pears, really, if anything, they represent growing up for me, because as a kid, I never really liked pears. Like I've constantly been told by adults that I should have some because they're good for you, but I don't know. They didn't. I would rather eat, but I would rather eat apples as a kid than pears mm, because in my head pears fruit in general was supposed to be sweet and pears simply weren't. I'd rather have apples. But now as an adult with more diversified taste, I find the more savory nuances of pear to be a bit more interesting. So I'm gonna put them above apples. but still behind oranges because oranges are still more interesting. Persimmon. This is the first time I've ever encountered this, so it's going on the back of I've never had this. Pineapple. Mm, good if the mood strikes you, but I'm not really I'm not really intrigued by it. This is going this is still going behind kiwi because at least kiwi has is more accessible. At least here in Europe where I'm from. Anyway, moving on, we have plums. Plums have a great have a whole bunch of advantages when it comes to things you can make out of them, and I am mainly referring to alcohols, but also cakes and pies. And also, plums in and of themselves are pretty good. They are kind of have a neutral taste, not not too sweet, not too sour, not too thick, not too savory, but also not too slim. They do have a good consistency and an interesting bouquet. So for the most part, um, they're they're pretty average, but really average in this tier is pretty good. So I'm gonna put them at somewhere around the middle of B, ahead of apples. Ahead of apples? Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that. Pomegranate. Um, Again, I've had products of pomegranate, but not pomegranate itself. So I'm gonna say it's about here. Pomelo. Again, never had this. So it's going here. Or maybe I didn't have no recollection of it. Anyway, it's still going in. I've never had this because I have no recollection of it. Unlike cantaloupe, where I have a recollection of having had it, but I have no recollection of what it's like. Still, having no recollection is still better than only having bad ones, as is the case with grapefruit. With raspberry, I'm actually very tempted to go low A. They are a little bit more sour than I generally like them, but they're still but they're still good. They're quite flavorful. Have a good consistency, good texture, and also again you can make a whole lot of stuff out of it. So it goes in low A. Red currant, yeah, right next to the black. Star fruit. Where do where do these things show up? It's going in. Never had this. I'm a little curious when it comes to the shape, but I literally know nothing else about it. So it's still on the bottom of I've never had this. I am not curious. Strawberries. Mm, they're going. Get back. They're going just behind pears. Um, I used to like them a little bit more than pears. Actually, quite a bit more than pears. Growing up, but but ever since, well, what can I say? The the taste of pear has grown on me, whereas the taste of strawberry has kind of done the opposite. I like them for being sweet, but now they're kind of a little too sweet for me to be enjoyable. Other aspects of strawberries do however make up for it, so, which is why it's not lower than high to mid B. It's still a good placement to be honest. Tangerine. Mm, this will be controversial, but it's going up here, low A. Like it's got it probably doesn't really have the same versatility as oranges, but they are a little bit more enjoyable. So for that reason, they're going in a low A. I might shift them around a bit, but that's the rating for now. Watermelon. Mm-hmm. It's going it's going right behind kiwis. Like with my the thing about watermelon is it's another one of those fruits that I have a different opinion of as a grown up than I do as a kid, and overall it's actually gotten a little bit more positive. And I absolutely hated watermelon, but really you need a whole bunch of people in order to really be able to enjoy a watermelon, unless you get a very small one. So for that reason, it goes in the middle or mid to low C tier. Next up, honeydew. No recollection of this at all, but it looks like cantaloupe, and I and I have a sneaking suspicion it'll be exactly like cantaloupe. So not curious about this at all. Asian pear looks exactly like an apple, except it's yellow. So yeah, whatever. It's going in. I've never had this. Guava. Another thing I've never had. Have I exposed myself as an uncultured swine yet? Blood orange. This one I think is going here, above cranberries. Because again, I have no active recollection of actually eating it. I have a recollection of products made from it, but again, I have no recollection of eating it. And also, it doesn't make me as curious as some of these other choices. Custard apple. What the fuck is that? Goes here. Ground cherry. Okay, I'm gonna put it right around here. Okay, next up, kumquat. I think I've had this, but again, I have no recollection of it. So, for that reason, it's going here. Actually, I'm not curious about persimmon very much either. And kumquat can go. Yeah, this is good enough. Dragon fruit can stay there. Or can I? No, I'm gonna shift it back. Shift it about here. And next up, mulberry. Huh. So that's what they're called in English. I had no clue. My grandparents actually had a mulberry tree in their yard. Uh, uh, it was always a very cute, very fast little little snack, a mulberry for me growing up, or when I spend my vacations around my grandparents' house. And I remember that they always, and that whenever they would cook and they would fall, they would kind of fall on a roof and stay there, and someone would always have to get up uh, on that roof and clear them off, mostly so that the farm animals would eat them. By the way, my grandparents had a farm, still have one. And then one year, my grandparents decided enough is enough, and they cut the tree down. Haven't put another one in its place. But still, mulberries are kind of interesting as fruits. I think I'm gonna put them high C or low B. I'm gonna put them high C. Below dates. Actually, let's move dates around a bit. Not as good as apricots. Better nectarines. Yeah, let's put it right here between apricots and nectarines. Raisins. Okay, now now you're getting out of creativity. You have both raisins and grapes. What the hell is that? Anyway, I've had raisins. I've enjoyed them, and also I know you can do a lot of things with them. So, but overall, I don't enjoy it as much as some other things. So I'm gonna put it right between the apples, right there. Okay, next up we've got jackfruit, whatever that is. Mangosteen. Never had that. Rambutan. Never had that. And not particularly curious. Sour cherry. Well, I've had a bunch of those. And they are pretty much everything that's good about cherries is also good about sour cherries. They have somewhat different taste profile because they are called sour, but overall they're still but still, I find myself gravitating towards them, and I have no problem um, with them being presented to me. Actually, I welcome them. Not as much as these other two, but still, it is an S tier fruit. And last but not least, white currant. I'm just like, okay, shove it there. I don't care. And this is the, and yeah, this is my tier ranking for fruit. Agree, disagree? Please let me know. The comment section awaits your input. In any case, thank you for your attention. If you've enjoyed this video, then please give it a like, and maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like it. I already advised you to comment. I would also advise you to subscribe and maybe also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified if you want to see more videos from me. If you think I have, like, I don't know, good taste or something like that. I also have a main channel where I talk about more bookish / literature topics, so if that sounds like something you'd want to sink your teeth into, then go ahead and check that out. It's in the description below, right past my social media, which I also suggest you check out should you feel so inclined. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.